Flipgrid is a video platform that is free for educators and students from pre-K on. You just need to have either a Google account or a Microsoft account. So once you create your educator account and you log into it, then there's several ways to get students into the grid. You can give them access through their email, or you could give them a QR code. And then once you get logged in, this is what the teacher screen is going to look like. So a grid is basically a community. So you create a community within this program, and then within each community there are discussion topics. So for my STEM project, I created a community called Problem Solvers, and then there's several topics in there. One is just like a getting to know you topic, and then the other one is called your project idea. So if I go into the student view, you can see what it's going to look like for the kids. So this is the topic that they would see when they logged in. Create a video that explains your idea, then watch the videos the other members of your group created, and then the kids have to comment on each other's designs and remember to tell which part of the designs they think they should test. So because of how I structured this, the kids have to collaborate a little bit in this part because they have to listen to each other and they have to name what they're going to design, and then they'll get together as a group to actually start to create a product. And then the way that the kids respond to it is they just click on this really big plus sign here. One of the things that I really like about Flipgrid is that it's super simple for our younger students to use. They just have to click on the plus sign and then they can create a video. So I already created a little video. I pretended I was a student. I'll show you what it looks like. So the kids would see each other's videos here and they could watch one.
My idea is to tape black felt together and then tape that to the window, and it will block out the light.
And then the responses from their community members are right here.
I like your idea of using the felt because it's strong. Maybe we should test more than one color and see what works the best.
So every time that there's a response, little bubbles pop up and they can see the way that their community members have responded to their video. Then if we go back into the teacher view here, you can also look at what the kids have posted. So if I click here and I click on the replies, I could actually give students grades based on a rubric that I created, or I could just give them feedback here. So if I wanted to actually give them a score, say, on the way that they're communicating, I could create a rubric that talked about, speaking clearly, looking at the camera, having a picture of their design, whatever I needed to have, and then I could actually put a number grade that was associated with that. Or I could just write something here, like, I already have, you did a nice job, I like your idea. And then the only person who would see that would be the student, and they can either get it through Flipgrid or they could get it through their email. And then there's another feature that's neat for leaving student feedback is to go to edit, and you can leave what's called a vibe for all the students that are in your community. So maybe I just wanted to say that everyone's doing good work, so I just click great job right here. So that's some ways a teacher can leave feedback, which is also kind of neat. When you're just getting started with Flipgrid, there are some resources that are pretty helpful here. If you go into the Getting Started section, this will teach you some ways the way to set up your grid, and then ways to get students involved into the community. It also will show you how to set up a topic. And then there's something really neat here called the Disco Library. So if you weren't really sure what you want to have your topics be at, you can come into the Disco Library, and there's a bunch of pre-made topics that are really fun, and they're from classrooms all around the world, and they're all different grade levels. So you could move through these topics and you could add one for your students to respond to. There's also ways for your students to get involved in Flipgrid, and they can do it on any device. They could do it on a phone, through the app, or they could use Chromebooks, Macs, or PCs. The minimum device requirements for all of those are pretty simple. They like to use Google Chrome, but you can use a lot of different things here. There's a few other neat features for teachers on Flipgrid. One of them is mixtape. You can take videos that your students have created and kind of do a showcase, which is fun because then you can share out with the kids what each other are working on, or maybe use one to teach, if somebody does something particularly good, you could use it to teach the other kids, and you can use it as a model. There's also the My Activity page, which shows what you've been doing as a teacher, how many grids you've made, and the videos that you've made this week. And there's also ways for teachers to see how the kids have interacted with the grid. When you click on your discussion topics, you can see how many times it's been viewed and how many hours of engagement the students have had with the grids that you've created. You can also add guests, or you could add co-creators to any of your grids, and you can export data if you need to. All in all, Flipgrid is a pretty neat tool because it's easy to use, but it also will promote 21st century skills. Obviously, it can be used to collaborate because the kids have to watch each other's videos and then listen to them and comment back on them. It's a tool that's meant for communication. The students would have to communicate in an age-appropriate manner, but they also have to listen to each other and learn from each other. And they kind of get engaged in it automatically because they like making videos, they like seeing each other's videos, they thrive off of the feedback that they get from each other. It promotes critical thinking because they have to analyze others' points of views and they have to ask questions of each other. And it promotes creativity because they can get very creative in their presentations, including pictures and visuals or models if they want to. But they also have to be a little bit open to feedback from each other, which is an important aspect of creativity. And in this one that I've created, it's a requirement that the kids listen to each other and use each other's ideas to start to build a product. So I just started using Flipgrid, but I think it's pretty neat and it's easy to use, so check it out.